into this topic.
Yeah. I'm totally stoked to dive into these struggles that men have and how you can get from moving away from those and towards your physical, mental, and spiritual health. And
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
And and again, bringing it from the female perspective, and how we're seeing it with our men in our space and our relationships, whether that be career, personal, friendships, romantic, family. Yeah, just really being able to kind of be that sounding board, for the women as well.
yeah, and actually that's a great point and something that we haven't talked about yet. And I'm just going to wing this, but if anyone, men, if you have questions, and I didn't mention this in episode one, I totally forgot. I think I have it in my notes at the end of this episode, but please reach out to us. Very simple, easy to remember email, menbecomingBetterMen@gmail.com. Address it. If you got a question specifically for me or Nicole, put in there just, to Nicole or to Bob. And if it's for her, I will make sure she gets it. But I monitor that inbox. So if you got questions for us, want clarifications on why we're doing what we're doing, what the heck we're talking about, anything along those lines, email us and we'll get back to you and clear those up. So with that, I'm going to dive in and we're going to talk about physical, mental, and spiritual health for a second. Um, why? Because a few months back, I found a great exercise on how to write a purpose statement. And the third question in that sequence was, if the world was perfect, what would it look like as I see it? And my answer was simple, because my goal in life is for everyone to be physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy, because I've been there. I've been in those dark places in my life. I hated being weak physically. Went all through elementary school and junior high as that skinny little kid, with no muscles, and was always afraid of getting his butt kicked by the bigger kids. Like I talked about being bullied in episode one. I hated being overweight. Excuse me. And I still do. I still am to some degree. I'm actually working on it again. I've dedicated myself to watching what I eat and exercising more. Mentally, I stopped learning from the time I graduated college until I was about 47 years old. I thought I knew everything because I had a college degree, and I stopped consuming educational material. Everything I consumed at that point was for entertainment purposes, whether it was sporting events or fiction books or whatever the case may be. It was not learning. And all of this time has passed, and I gained very little in the way of knowledge or wisdom that in my 50s now I wish that I had. Then spiritually, I was unknowingly experiencing deep spiritual suffering. I believed in God, but I didn't know him. And I realized a few years ago that he was pursuing me and that he always had been, but I was too distracted by the world to see that. And now that I'm getting to know him better every day and all the time, it's literally cured most of the traumas that I've been suffering through or experiencing. I was totally drifting through life in every way up until that point. And if you read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, you'll understand how the devil uses every trick in the book to keep us drifting throughout our life without purpose. And because when we don't have a purpose, he can manipulate us to do whatever he wants.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And it's it's interesting how you say, you're drifting and you stopped learning, you stopped consuming educational material. I just saw this post on Facebook. So we record these obviously earlier than we release them, and today is July 3rd. And so obviously tomorrow is July 4th, which is a big American holiday, right? So he posted, don't live in the 3 to 5 day weekend like you're just okay. If you want to go and eat bad food and watch fireworks and drink and go out on the boat, great, but don't let that stop you. Don't let that keep you from continuing to pursue your purpose, right, in life. And I find that fascinating that that came up. And then today we're talking about drifting, and and about the purpose and how men can drift away from their purpose. And um, the piece that I would like to speak into is we really need to, as humans, but men specifically, we need to anchor into that purpose, right? And as a woman, you think about vessels, and the vessels are always, they're women, right? And they have these anchors. And so as women, we help to ground that man. We help to create that safety and that support so he can go out there and pursue his purpose, and really just be the human, be the man that he was made to be, by God, by that higher power, whoever you connect with. And I just found that so fascinating. And as you were talking, Bob, I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot about that. And so I'm going to invite you, when you do have these 3 to 5 day weekends, to not just completely throw everything to the side, and still try to stay on track, still try to not drift off as much as possible, and really stay focused. And even if it's just like a couple of steps, that right there is going to get you further and further along on your purpose, along on your journey.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we used the term drifting a couple of times there. And it's funny, I looked this up on Instagram of all places the other day, because I was going to hashtag some of my posts drifting. Well,
Mm.
drifting in the world of Instagram, just FYI, is drifting in a car, like a race car, drifting when you do a
Yeah,
power slide or whatever that is. Uh,
yeah.
so I'm not going to be hashtagging drifting, because it's going to go completely in a wrong place to where we want it to be. But so I wanted to define drifting, because it actually, the definition is fascinating. It means, according to the version of whatever dictionary I found on Google, means to be carried slowly by a current of air or water, moving passively or aimlessly or
Mm.
involuntarily,
Mm-hmm.
continually moving from place to place without a fixed home.
Mm. Mm.
Wow, right? Without a fixed
Yeah.
home, involuntarily, and without a fixed home.
Mm.
So I think back
Mm.
to my life prior to the last few years, even into my childhood, involuntarily and without a fixed home.
Mm.
Yes, I had a home I lived in, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what my purpose was. And that to me,
Mm.
purpose and fixed home is a very big distinction. Um,
Yeah.
to me, that sounds like most of the men I know,
Mm.
you know, going through life involuntarily without a fixed. And the examples I came up with is, a buddy asks you, "Let's go play golf." Well, why? Well, I want to go. I need to get out of the house. My wife's driving me nuts. I don't want to be at home. Or a man thinking to himself, "Let's watch porn. I want to watch porn. I need some enjoyment or some fulfillment." Well, why?
Mm.
Because I'm afraid of I'm afraid of my wife. She might get angry at me if she catches me doing this, or we're not having sex right now, so I need something to fill that with. To me, those have become involuntary for a lot of men, and their home is a connection. And when
Mm.
we're disconnected from home, we need comfort, and therefore we drift. The next part of that is success. So success, as I've read in many men's books and seminars I've taken, success is like the primary thing that's most important for men. Some men can think that's getting promotions at work. Back to the golf analogy, it can be out driving your buddies on the golf course. It can be marrying a trophy wife. Or what I know now is success is knowing what your purpose is and going after it every single day. Because you can't achieve success if you don't have a purpose to strive for.
Mm.
Having a 300-yard drive while it's awesome and I'm in awe of any man that can do it, that's not a freaking purpose. That is not something you want to set a purpose to strive for, that I can hit the ball 300 yards down a golf course. Sorry, guys. I know I love you guys at the golf, but it's just, it doesn't work for me. I would rather use my purpose and compassion and my leadership to inspire and encourage men to be physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. That's my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So I use that sentence, which is my purpose statement, as a gauge every single day to make sure I'm doing things in the context of that purpose, i.e., this podcast. And that doing it brings me so much joy and fulfillment to know that I am potentially making someone's life just a little bit better by speaking into them through the truths that I've found. That brings me peace, joy, and happiness every day that I'm able to do it. Like Nicole said, 3 to 5 day weekend. What am I spending my 3 to 5 day weekend on? Well, yesterday I spent pretty much all day putting together notes for our podcast that we were going to record today. So I've spent a couple days of my 5 day. I literally have a 5 day weekend. I spent 2 days of it working on this podcast to be able to pour into our listeners and give them something of value. So Nicole, I'd love to hear your take on how women see men that don't have a clear purpose in their life.
So I would love to circle back to the home piece, because our home is our body. And so when men become disconnected from their purpose, they're really being disconnected from their body. They're not feeling comfortable being in their body. And really just, being able to bring awareness and to have awareness around those emotions, those limiting beliefs that are creating the need to disconnect from the body, to go and watch the porn, to go and mindlessly drink or binge watch or gamble, or whatever you want to just add in the addiction or the unhealthy behavior, I guess I should say, not the addiction necessarily. But for women, purpose, because a lot of men feel like that their purpose is, I have to provide for my children, I have to provide for my family. That's great, but you need something that's going to wake you up in the morning and make you put those both feet on the floor and make you move through life with intention and love and passion. And sometimes having the family to provide for is not it. Sometimes the job is not it. So you have to find something that is going to light up your soul and make you move through life again, with intention and purpose. I will say that as a woman, and let me just say that I was that 3 to 5 day weekend girl where I was out on the boat, I was drinking. I mean, you want to go back to, my old behaviors. I was just as bad. And it really took a wake up call for me. My body started breaking down. I started having chronic pain and I started getting sick. And it took a huge wake up call for me and my body to realize that I was treating it like shit. And I knew that God did not put me on this earth to drink myself to death and be on a boat all the time, that I had a bigger reason to be here. I had a bigger purpose. So purpose doesn't necessarily fall within the men. It falls within humans. But the great thing about women is that when women are really standing in integrity in their true core energy of that feminine, they are able to create that safe and supportive space so the men can go out there and slay the dragons and go through the storm and do whatever they're doing. But you come back to the feminine and you have that peace. And if you're not experiencing that in your life, guys, then something is going on internally and something is going on within the relationship. And then that's when you have to start asking these difficult questions. Am I really operating from my healthy masculine energy? Is she operating from her healthy feminine energy? If she's operating from a wounded masculine space, where she's trying to take over the relationship. She's trying to go out there and slay the dragons. I hate to say this, but there was at some point where she didn't feel safe in your masculinity. She didn't feel safe as you were the provider and the safety and support as the man. And so that shifted her into the masculine. Do you have to get a divorce? No. Do you need to go and work some things on your relationship? Absolutely. You need to have those tough questions, have those tough dialogues with your wife, your partner, and find out what it was that made her not feel safe. And then you have to come back and have that dialogue with her to create that emotional safety with her. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but you
Absolutely.
yeah, we all have a purpose, but we all have to be oscillating between our own healthy masculine feminine energies.
Yeah. I just want to add one point to the comment you made about a man's purpose being his family. I got
Mm.
to I got to the point where my kids were 18 and 15, and they were off doing their thing. And one was graduating from high school, the other one was off doing everything under the sun that he was into, and they really didn't need dad on a
Mm-hmm.
daily basis. They really didn't need mom on a daily basis either at that point. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing their thing. And when I got to that point and I was looking around going, okay, my quote unquote purpose to this point has been to raise my family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm yeah, I'm not done, but I'm, 75 to 90% done with that on a daily basis. So now what?
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to sit here
Mm-hmm.
and watch sports all day long and read fiction books and just keep running on the hamster wheel going to work every day? No, we have more that our creator wants us to do. So
Yeah.
like I said, my purpose statement is to use my compassion and leadership to inspire and encourage men to be physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. And I feel the successes in my life are growing every day as I live into that. And I talk to men who are feeling either shame, anger, lust, disrespect, or lack purpose. And these interactions bring me such joy that I've realized that I don't need a whole lot else to survive except maybe 3 squares and the company of my amazing wife. So I've come a long way from sitting in a 2-bedroom condo 10 years ago, trying to find ways to cope with a difficult divorce and being alienated from those same kids I just talked about. Um, so that said, if you're struggling in any of these areas I've mentioned, I'd love to have a conversation with you about how I can help you find a path forward. Um, like I said earlier, my email, menbecomingbettermen@gmail.com, or you can visit my website, same thing, menbecomingbettermen.com. Find the scheduling link at the bottom of the homepage. While you're there, you can register as well on the site with your email, and I will send you or have it send you the process that I used to write my last purpose statement, which is a step-by-step process where you can write your own purpose statement. I believe it's imperative that
Mm.
men take a strong look at our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. And if we're out of balance in any of those areas, we're an easy target for the negative energy that's constantly coming at us. If you can't explain to somebody specifically how you're taking care of your physical body with a good diet and exercise, and if you aren't continually learning and growing and expanding your mind through books, courses, or other educational media, and if you're not doing some kind of spiritual practice, whether it's attending church, doing meditation, or some other form of holistic practice, you're not firing on all cylinders, and you're not
Yeah.
going to be able to achieve the success that you're destined to achieve and the purpose that you were made to fulfill. So
Yeah.
the goal is
Yeah.
us.
And yeah, and going back to, your purpose and, with your children, if you, and I'm speaking to the men that have the children or are planning to have children, you want to be that good example for your children. And if you're getting up and you're just going to work and you're coming home and you're having, that first cocktail and second cocktail and third cocktail, and then you're watching sports or you're binge watching Netflix or, whatever you're doing, those children are watching you. Even if they're grown, they're still watching you. They're still going to be sponges and they're still going to be reflections of you. So what do you want to reflect back to your children? Do you want to reflect back your own self-development and your own self-discovery and your own self-awareness? Because that's just going to create that ripple effect, not even just for your children, for anybody that's in your space, for your wife. If your wife, if you and your wife are stuck in the same hamster wheel, I can't even think of the word, but if you're stuck in a rut, that's what I was trying to think of. If you're stuck in a rut, then be the man and start to make the changes. And then that will reflect back to her that she has that safe space, and create that safe space for her to make changes as well. The problem with what's going on in society is that the gap is growing so much between the men and the women. The women are continuing to work on themselves, and the men, they're not. They're in resistance. That's a huge piece of content that I continue to drive forward within my social media, is that the men are in resistance. And I'm here to tell you, and I'm here to share this with you. This is the wake up call. In order to close the gap, the men have to start doing the work. The men have to start creating that space in their lives. And that means possibly putting down the remote control every once in a while, putting down the drink every once in a while, not going out and gambling, not going to the golf course. I know that golf is, for meditation and things like that, and it's great exercise, but it doesn't have to be every weekend, guys. Try to bring in some variety, try to bring in pieces that are going to fill you up in a positive way. And yeah, we've got we've got to start to close this gap between the men and the women. The women, we have so many resources, and that's one reason I stepped into the space with the men, is because I understand that the men don't have a lot of resources. And I understand that the men are not being coached on the difficult topics. I'm here to change that. Bob is here to change that. We're creating this movement of people that are wanting to step up, wanting to create this safe space for the men in order for them to start shifting through these limiting beliefs, just shifting through these unhealthy patterns and behaviors, and really creating these healthy masculine men.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I think those are the high points for today's episode. So let's go into the clearing exercise for today, Nicole.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm ready to go through this again. It'll be my third time now, and see what else you can clear out of this old brain today, or this old body. Not just the brain, the body.
Yep. All encompassing the body, soul, coming back to your true self. Yes. Mind, body, soul, spirit. Okay. All right. So men, let's just go ahead and start by focusing on our breath. Just having that natural breathing, hearing it in your ears, like waves crashing up and down on the shore. And go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. Have your palms facing up on top of your thighs so you're open and ready to receive. I'm going to have you take a deep breath in and hold it. You're going to repeat a phrase silently in your head, and then you're going to exhale it out loud and deep. And here we go. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all fear with "this is what I'm supposed to be doing." Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all shame with "this is what I'm supposed to be doing." Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all judgment with "this is what I'm supposed to be doing." Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all anger with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all stress with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with belief with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with gratitude with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with hope with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with support with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with safe with this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all fear with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all shame with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all judgment with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all anger with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all stress with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with belief with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with gratitude with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with hope with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with support with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with safe with my happiness is not a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all fear with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all shame with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all judgment with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all anger with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all stress with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with belief with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with gratitude with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with hope with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with support with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I release all blocks with safe with I can't make mistakes. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I am so happy and grateful. I am anchored into my purpose. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I am so happy and grateful. My happiness is a priority. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I am so happy and grateful. Mistakes are part of being human. Good. Take a deep breath in and hold it. I am so happy and grateful that I am open to receiving better than I can imagine in all areas of my life. Good. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. Start to come back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And open up your eyes when you feel comfortable.
Man, those last four statements are killer.
Mm-hmm. The good ones?
Yeah. It's like when
Yeah.
you the first one, it just like the positive feeling that just like explodes out of you at that point. And then it's the second one and the third one and the fourth one is just like wham, wham, wham. It's like, oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yeah, I saw the big smile on your face when I
Yeah,
said I
I
am
did.
anchored into my
Yeah.
purpose.
I have to say, because we talked about this ahead of time, and that word, the word anchoring in the phrase anchoring your purpose. Um,
Yeah.
I've used that in things before in social media and in presentations, but it's so powerful to realize that when you truly find your purpose or the anchoring of it,
Mhm.
it seems effortless.
Yeah.
And when you get to that realization, not only up here but here, your heart,
Mhm.
it gives you such strength every day.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I want the men that are listening to this podcast and or women. I'm starting to feel like after 2 episodes here, we're not just talking to the guys here. And I'm sure some women will catch on and listen too, but it's important for everyone to have that,
Yeah.
and it's not just raising the kids. I mean, yes, that's a
Mhm.
big piece of it, but there's so much more. And
Yeah.
and and for me, being in service of everyone around me
Mhm.
is just it brings such joy every day. It's just I want everybody to have that. I want everybody
Yeah.
to have that.
Yeah. And, it's important to mention that it's not just about, what is your purpose? Like, what are your values? What are your beliefs? And then stand in integrity with those. Because if your partner or you're attracting into a partner, you as a woman and as a man, you have to have those beliefs and values in order to weave together into a good partnership. And there was another piece that I wanted to speak into, and now I'm not. Um, again with the men and the women and the anchoring, women need that stability. We need that. That's part of the masculine, is having that stability and being able to provide that to your partner, because we are still the fairer sex. I know that that's probably not going to be a very popular thing to say, but we are still the fairer sex. And the women that are out there and being the boss babes, they're not honoring that feminine energy by going out there and being in their masculine the entire time. They're not honoring who we are as women, because we and men and women, humans, were not created to wake up and go to work every single day. Not even the children. Children have lost sight of what a childhood is, and that's very sad to me, because we're just creating another culture of people who are just driving themselves into the ground rather than enjoying their life. And that doesn't necessarily mean being out on the boat drinking all the time. And I'm just drawing from my own experiences. But we were not created to go to work until the age of 65 and pay the bills and then die, 10 years later or even
Amen.
earlier than 65. We were created to make this world a better place
Yeah.
and help one another as humans, being kind to one another. And yeah, I don't even know where that came from, but yeah, we really,
Oh, I know where it came
we, well, we need those men to be the stability. We need them to be, and within their masculine energy of the stability. And we'll talk about that in polarity in the next episode. But
Yeah.
and yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that one, because that one's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually,
but
let me ask you. You've tweaked something in me, and I gotta ask. So I do know a lot of women. Well, we collectively probably too, because we went through the same coaching school. I'll call it, for lack of a better term. A lot of women refer to themselves as boss babes,
yeah,
and while I appreciate that and I see that as I love that for women that they're able to do that. But what the question that came to my mind when you said that a minute ago was, is that kind of a masculine man repellent,
Hmm.
even
Absolutely.
subconsciously, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If you, okay, so if there's a
Probably,
boss babe,
we're probably jumping a little bit into the next episode, but that's okay.
yeah, that's okay. Um, if you're a boss babe and you're with a man who's kind of taking a back seat, then you're with a weak man.
Yeah.
You're not with a strong masculine man, because a strong masculine man, it's not that he's not going to allow you to, it's that he's not going to feel comfortable in his own skin allowing that.
Mm.
Now, can you be a boss babe and still embracing your feminine? Absolutely, but you have to have the skill set and the know-how and the awareness to come back into your feminine. I'm building a business, I'm a coach. I'm a coach for men. There, I have to come into my masculine a lot, but I do have the tools and the skill set and the support in order to shift back into that feminine. Or else, if you're in your feminine all the time, and that's kind of what we're going to talk about in this next episode of clarity. If you're in your feminine all the time as a man and you're not embracing your masculine, then that is when you're sitting on the couch and you're not fulfilling your purpose, because you are in that wounded feminine energy. And as a woman, if you're out there building your business and you're taking care of the kids and you're doing the da 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 da, and you don't know how to pour into yourself, you don't know how to come home and disconnect and allow your husband to be the masculine man leader in the relationship, then you're operating from your wounded masculine.
Yeah. So all of you men and women that are out there in
Mm.
the dating world, and I've heard a million stories, both sides, how horrible it is to be out there and dating right now. So
Yeah.
we've got these women that are trying to be super powerful and in subconsciously driving the men away. Then we got men out there being
Mm.
weak and wimpy, you know, binge watching, golf playing, you know, that, and they're doing this.
Yeah.
They're
Ha-
completely going in opposite directions of each other and wondering why they can't
mm.
connect, because they're both in the wrong polarity, which again,
Yep.
teasing the next episode, we're putting that one on a tee big time. But they're going in the opposite direction, and that's why they're
Yeah.
not connecting.
It's like magnets.
Yeah.
If you have a positive and a negative, you're going to connect. But if you have a positive and a positive, you're going to repel each other. If you have a negative and negative, you're going to repel each other. You have to come into that polarity. And you cannot, and this is the other thing, you can't teach polarity.
Yeah.
I had that recognition awareness this past week, and I was not liked very much on this Facebook group that I was a part of. But you can't teach it. It's coming back into your true self. It's really breaking down those beliefs, breaking down those walls, getting rid of those stuck emotions. That's going to allow you to come back into your true core energy. And that may be, if you were born as a man, but and I believe that when you're born, if you're gay, you're born gay. And when you come into that true core energy, if your true core energy when you're born as a man is a feminine energy, then that's what you're going to, feel comfortable in. But if you're born a man and you're gay and you're automatically starting to be suppressed because somebody's society wants you to be another way, that again is coming back into your true core energy, removing those limiting beliefs, removing those stigmas, those stuck emotions, that were given to you, those that by society and your primary caregivers.
Mm. Interesting. Interesting. We might have to unpack that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Again,
On the
another
next
whole.
episode.
We've already jumped far enough into the next episode. Let's not jump too far ahead. But
Yeah.
it's awesome episode for today. I love it. Let's close it out here, and we're gonna jump into polarity next time and talk about that. I'm excited. I know we've teed it up near enough. Excuse me. I hope that it's got you interested in what we're going to talk about next too. So you come back for next episode. Thanks for joining us for this one.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Or
Yeah,
thank you, men.
be sure to follow us on this podcast, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you're listening. Subscribe. That way you get notifications when we drop a new episode. As always, if you resonate with us and think someone would appreciate this content, man or woman, apparently today, share the episode with a friend. Now, the more you do those two things, the more exposure we get in the crowded world of podcasting, and the more of our brothers